Let's go on an adventure today, creating a super cute wallet accordion mini album. I'm Charee Filimoehala here at the Graphic 45 office, and I am so excited to walk you through this step-by-step tutorial on how to take your leftovers from previous projects and turn it into a masterpiece that you could store on a desk, or you could take around with you in your wallet or purse and show off to all of your friends. This is closed by an elastic closure, and then once you open it up, you can see all the possibilities of the fun you can have with this accordion album. So you can see there are photo mats on both sides, as well as a pocket on both sides right in the middle. That's going to be great for your little journaling tags or adding your little extra doodads and keepsakes in there as well. And the fun part about all of this is how we create our DIY covers. So we have a nice sturdy back and front cover, and that's created just with some leftover paper pad covers as well. So both of these projects for our Club G45 Volume 7 this month, the travel journal and the accordion mini, have been created for us by the fabulous Annette Green. And her talents know no bounds and have definitely been put to hard work this month on our Volume 7 projects. If you're not already a club subscriber, you can do that by hopping on over to our website, g45papers.com. But like all of our tutorials, you can use what you have in your stash and play along. So either way, we encourage you to grab your papers and scissors and let's have some fun. So I am excited to create this accordion album. The first thing that we're going to want to do is to locate your just the cover of your collection pack. We're using the Safari Adventure collection pack. If you're just following along with your supplies at home, you could use, if you have a different paper pad, you could use the cover of that. You could also use like a cereal box or something, a little bit of weight, but not too much. For step one, we are going to cut two pieces out of our cover, and these are going to measure to be 12 inches by 4, and we will have 2 of those. Then we're going to take our 2 cut pieces, and on the 12-inch side, we are going to score. We're going to score at 4 inches, and then again at 8 inches. And then we are going to just trim off 1/8 off of the right-hand side. So 1/8 of an inch. So you could score on that mark. Mine's already been trimmed, and then cut off that excess, or you can pull out your paper trimmer and just trim off 1/8 of an inch off this edge. So you will end up with a piece that's going to be 11 7/8 by 4 inches. And you'll do that with both of your pieces. We're in the process of making our sturdy covers, so that's what these are. So we are going to be folding in our right-hand side first, and then our left side, so everything folds nice and flat. If we didn't trim off that 1/8 of an inch, it would fold more like this, where it would have that bowing. So just make sure you're folding so you've got some nice flat cover. Once you know how you're going to be folding everything, we're just going to adhere this all together. Of course, if you do have some extra chipboard in your stash, you can go ahead and use that. Depending on how thick it is, you might want to double it up. And then go ahead and burnish that down and get out any air bubbles so you have a nice sturdy cover now. And we'll do the same with the second one. Of course, you can use whatever kind of adhesive you prefer to use. I love liquid adhesive. It's great for allowing me to make mistakes where I can pull up my pieces if I need to. It also gives me a little bit of wiggle room that I like. But if you like score tape or dry adhesive, you are welcome to do that as well. With the liquid adhesive, it is always nice to have a damp paper towel around so you can wipe up any excess. Taking our natural habitat, we're going to cut out 2 pieces to be 5 inches by 5 inches. And then with the zebra side up, we are going to adhere our chipboard pieces right in the center of that 5 by 5 inch square. And then you're going to take your bone folder and you're going to just go along the edge of your chipboard piece. We are going to be folding over our edges onto the center of this, so this just helps guide it along. Now just taking some scissors, we are going to trim off those corners and leaving about 1/8 of an inch of paper next to our corner. So we don't want to go all the way flush to your chipboard piece, just leave about 1/8 of an inch when trimming your corners. So once you've got your papers all folded, you can go ahead and adhere it all down. So I'm just using a liquid adhesive. And just working one side at a time, just start to fold it all into the center. So now we have our front and back covers that are nice and sturdy, made out of leftovers. So you gotta love that. From the Amazing Africa page, we are going to take out this cut apart and we are going to be using this frame. So we are going to cut out the inside of this frame. You can do that a number of different ways. You can use an X-Acto knife to get out the image with a ruler. You could also take your paper trimmer if that has a blade that can be picked up and put back down. But because we are going to be creating this shorter border, we're already going to be cutting this apart. So I'm just going to do it the easiest, fastest way. So we were just taking that border with just the red and zebra. There's a gold border around that as well, but we are not going to be taking that. And we're going to be going into this image. So I've just cut into the image, maybe about 1/8 of an inch. And now I'm just going to go around my frame with my fine tip scissors. So now your frame should look a little something like this. You can save this image to use on a later project. But now that we have it looking like this, we can go ahead and cut this into 4s. So we'll cut it in half here, as well as in the middle of the top of the frame and the middle of the bottom of the frame as well. Step 5, we're going to be cutting 6 of these lush landscape squares, and these are going to be 3.5 by 3.5. If you'd like to distress at this point, you can go ahead and do that. You can see with our sample here that Annette has made, she has distressed using the blade of her scissors and then using some distress ink. I'm going to keep mine nice and simple, but that is the option if you want to go ahead and do that now. And then we're going to adhere one of our lush landscape squares to one of our covers, black side up. And you do want to make sure that your text is right side up as well. Now we're going to be doing some seaming together. So taking our 4 frame pieces, we're going to start to create a frame on our green border. And we want our green border to be about 1/8 of an inch showing around. And we're just going to trim this together. So I know this is longer than I need it to be. So I'm just going to trim in a diagonal like so. Trimming on a diagonal should help seam everything together. So I'm not going to adhere that down just quite yet, but I will start working on my other pieces so I can see. I want to trim on a diagonal about here. And there's a little more excess than we need there to be, so take off a bit up there and then now I'm going to start adhering my pieces. So now that I've got those 2 ready to go, So then I've just overlapped my second piece and just making sure that my border looks nice and consistent all the way around. Now we're going to take our leftover lion's knocker. If you aren't following along with our Club G45 Volume 7, that was our other lion's knocker, was used on this cute junk journaling style travel album. But we're going to just add some adhesive to all of the points that will come in contact with our chipboard piece that we'll be adhering this onto. So you just want to use a nice heavy duty liquid adhesive for this. E6000 is great. I'm using this art glitter glue. Ranger Glossy Accents also works. You just want to make sure that you're giving it time to dry. And then that's going to adhere just right in the center of this chipboard piece. And then to cover up our little tag hole and add some more fun dimension, we are just going to take one of these cute little green circle chipboard pieces and adhere that right there. And then we'll set this aside to dry. And then taking our other back cover piece and another Lush Landscape square, adhere this down. And then taking a crocodile or some kind of heavy duty hole punch, we're going to punch a hole onto the back left hand side in the center. I'm going to go about 1/2 inch in and just eyeballing that center. Once you have your hole punched, we're going to take our elastic that we used in our travel journal. We didn't use, actually. We're going to take the elastic that's left over from our travel journal that we took out, and this is what we're going to use. However, if you are just creating along with us, you could use any elastic you've got at home, or a coordinating ribbon would also work. But we are going to thread this through like so. We're going to adjust this to be the length that we need it to be for this project. So I'm just going to put my elastic around this piece vertically like so. And I've pulled it so it's taut. I do want it to be a little bit loose because it's going to be going around my front cover and then our little bit of our accordion pages on the inside too. Since this is elastic, it will give quite a bit. So this is feeling like a good spot here. And then at this point, we are going to take some nice, strong tape. You could use packing tape or whatever you've got around. I'm using some nice of our washi tape. And I'm just going to adhere our tails down. So it's nice and pulled pretty snugly, where I can still get my elastic around all my pieces once my album's put together. And just going to cover those tails with tape. Now you can undo your elastic. Step 9, we're going to cut 3 pieces that are going to be 12 inches by 3 7/8. This is from our Exotic Patterns paper. And then we're going to score those at 4 inches and 8 inches. And then fold yours so they look like ours do, where they have a valley and a mountain. And then setting up our papers vertically. So I've got the valley and mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain. We're going to take our right panel from our first paper, and that will adhere onto our second, and then we'll do the same to the second and third right there, creating our accordion. Step 11, we've flipped our accordion to be on the side that's all tiger print. And then from Jungle Expedition, we're taking this "And So the Adventure Begins" tag, and this we are going to adhere onto our furthest left panel, and it's going to be about 1/4 inch from the left-hand score mark. And then we're going to take our chipboard, our tigered chipboard piece, and a floral pink sticker. Adhere that onto your chipboard. And then that's going to adhere down onto your panel, just overlapping underneath the begins. And then from the B side of Jungle Expedition, we've cut out 4 squares that are going to be 3.5 by 3.5. And then adhere one to the second panel and a green square to the third panel. Step 12, we're going to cut 2 pieces of Serengeti Outfitters to be 3.5 by 2 inches. Now we're going to be creating a pocket with that Serengeti stripe. So I'm adding adhesive just in a U shape. And this is going to go on our center panel of our accordion album. So find that sweet spot. So adhere that down and then make sure your pocket is open, and then adhere on some chipboard circles. I'm going to start with our center piece, the green floral, and then work out from there with a red floral and another red. And then add your chipboard. We're going to have a green in the center and 2 red on the outsides. From Amazing Africa, we have cut out 2 tags, and we've kept them together. So we cut them out side by side and then left the red piece in the center and then fussy cut around that. And then just go ahead and fold, and that's going to tuck right inside our little pocket. And then we've also fussy cut out a cute little parrot. And this you can leave, and you could have, write a little sentiment or something on there, but I'm going to adhere mine down, just peeking out of the pocket like so. So now I got a little ahead of myself, and I did do these 2 panels correctly, which is green and then tan. And then by looking at the pictures, instead of reading all the directions, I added my other green square. However, it needs to be this back panel piece with the elastic to the left. So I've added adhesive to my back panel, and I'm just going to adhere it. Fold my accordion and just adhere it down nicely in the center. And once I like my placement, we can go ahead and burnish that down. Step 14, I've flipped over my accordion album. So now my back cover is onto the left-hand side. And then taking this beautiful bird cut apart from Jungle Expedition, it's been cut to 2 5/8 of an inch to 3 5/8 of an inch. And then I've added some foam adhesive just on the top and bottom. And now this is what's going to straddle over like our little lumpy area from where our elastic is, kind of disguising that that exists. So just adhere the top on there. So now it all has kind of a raised effect, and you're not focusing in on those lumps. And then on the next 2 panels, it'll go tan square, green square. Step 15, we are going to be working with our center panel again. And we're going to create our pocket from our stripe paper we cut earlier. So just adding adhesive onto the sides and the bottom. And then now I'm going to add my pocket. I just folded up my paper. That way I could see where the score line is. It's a little harder on this busy paper to know exactly where your scores are. So I've created my pocket. Now from Lush Landscape, we've cut this to be 2 inches by 3 1/4, and then just trimmed off those little corners to create this nice little tag look. And now taking this little chipboard circle, I'm going to go ahead and adhere it onto that tag. Just kind of trimming off any of those chipboard fuzzies. And it'll just overhang off the tag just a little bit. And then before I stick it in the pocket, I am going to add this Jungle Safari sticker. Give it some extra pizzazz. Super cute. Now you could add a little date or something here, and then perhaps a photo or something, or some journaling on the back. That's going to tuck nicely in there. And then from Amazing Africa, we've cut out one of these decorative squares. It's 1 inch or 1 1/8 by 1 1/8. And I'm going to make my own little corner embellishment. So just by cutting this in half diagonally, and then I can adhere these onto the corners of my pocket, and voila, super cute little corner embellishments. Then on the next two panels, we'll adhere a green square and a tan square. For step 16, we are going to adhere our cover panel onto the rightmost panel, our panel that's left over. So just finding that sweet center spot on both the front and back. And you can fold up your accordion to make sure your covers are matching and everything is good to go. And then at this point, we are going to start to adhere on our pieces. So we are going to take the sentiment, "Let's go on an adventure," from our Amazing Africa paper and adhere that onto our cover. So that's just going to be on a diagonal on the top left-hand corner. And then now I can adhere my chipboard piece. It's been drying, so it is good to go now. And that's just going to go right in the center of our zebra frame. So now that we have completed our cover, we can fold that back up. And just to utilize all those chipboard pieces, we're going to take this cute little tiny bird tag and feed it through our elastic loop. So now we have a cute little decoration on the back as well. And then this will just adhere over the center of our album, keeping it all shut. We hope that you have enjoyed creating this wallet accordion style mini album with us today. Be sure to share your wallet mini albums with us on social media using that Graphic45 hashtag. And if you're looking for more fun tutorials like this one, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then hit that notification bell so you know every time we post a new video. And if you have yet to create our other Volume 7 project, go ahead and click on the link in the description below for this fun video tutorial as well. We thank you all so much for creating with us, sharing your ideas, your passions, and love. Thanks so much, and happy paper crafting.